Welcome to Year 13 at CCHSG. This is an information evening, first for Year 13, just to give you a heads up for everything you're going to need to know to be successful this year. So a few things I'm going to be touching on today is the school day, including study periods, academic monitoring, communication, university applications and post-18 guidance, sixth form code of conduct and the bursary scheme. So the team for sixth form this year is myself, Mrs. Hughes, head of sixth form, and Mrs. Tarrier, our pastoral assistant. But our first port of call would be the tutor team. They are Miss Barrett for 13C, Dr. Martin for 13H, Mr. Paz for 13E, Mrs. Cudmore-Rice for 13S, Mr. Doyle for 13T, and Mrs. Cliff and Mrs. Saunders share 13S. They are our first responders. They are the people that our students meet every single day, so they are the first point of contact. Our designated safeguarding team includes Mrs. Jackson, Miss Daniels, Mrs. Frost, myself and Dr. Parrott. We are here to support any safeguarding needs that the school may need, and any student can come to any member of this team. Coupled with that is our student leadership team. So these are the students that have passed the selection process for our head student this team and who are role models for the school. As you can see, we cover a variety of areas to make sure that everyone in the school community is supported and that we can run events successfully and bring in new successful ideas. So let's just recap on the last year that we've had. So our students have been very successful and many have gone on to university, 92% accepting their final place. We had 29% who applied to Oxbridge were successful and are now ready to start next week their courses. Over half the year group went to Russell Group universities. Some have chosen to take a gap year, and some of those are gaining extra qualifications during this year or having adventures before going on to university next year. And 62% of medicine applicants were also successful, as well as our standard vets. We had no one apply for apprenticeships this year, but we always make sure that students are aware of apprenticeship options and career options so that everyone is catered for. So what have we learnt over the last tricky year? The exams are getting harder than ever and there's more content and more rigour. So we need to support our students so that they are prepared for that without overloading them. Leaving hard work until after January's mock is too late, so we have created study time within school, creative, productive areas for students to maximise right from the beginning. If students have part-time jobs, they need to make sure that this doesn't impact on their progress, so a balance is needed, but also life balance between school and a job is essential for a healthy mind and a healthy body. We want our students to progress well, and we use the ALPS, which is Advanced Level Performance System, which is used by over 1,400 schools and colleges across the country. This is a really good indicator of where our students should be aiming for on their own personal achievement ladder, and then we will help facilitate them and their goals, whichever their goals may be. So I just wanted to let you know how they've started this year. So I asked a number of teachers to say a little bit about the Year 13s so far. These are the things that came out more than once. They talked about our Year 13s being enthusiastic, having a great work ethic, personable, conversationalist in questions. They want to do well. They are aspirational. They're taking advantages of all learning opportunities in the classroom and beyond. Their attention to detail and discussions is excellent, making those synoptic links and just seeing their maturity from year 12 and dealing with the challenges last year and coming back and really trying to advance their knowledge beyond the curriculum this year is fantastic to see. So well done all Year 13s. Your teachers and all staff and peers are very supportive and impressed with you so far. So keep it up. Well done. Our ethos within the sixth form, and that strands throughout the entire school, comes from these three strands. We are here to create that depth of knowledge, to enrich their experiences, and to develop their strength of character. So if anything has shown us over the last years, that depth of knowledge can be acquired in the classroom, remote learning, in peer groups, the richness of experience. Although some things didn't go live last year, they were still having experiences remotely and going above and beyond these challenges to still see how they can develop their character. But I am really pleased to say that trips are going ahead this year. Visits, guest speakers coming back into school, all in a COVID way, are really going to make this year a special one. So some of the other things that we've looked at this year is really looking at the wellness aspect. So our PSHE scheme has been completely rewritten to figure out how all the elements of the wellness wheel can be tackled in a safe way, so that students are going to feel comfortable and well-rounded individuals. We also have mock interviews for students just to give them a bit of confidence before going on to perhaps some university mock interviews, which might still be online, so they've got practiced at that, and being supported with a UCAS application or apprenticeship applications. So all of these are happening this year, as well as communication with universities such as University of Essex, admission tutors at Cambridge, to really give our students the best possible grounding going into adulthood once they leave in less than a year's time. So how are we going to support these wonderful students academically this year? So term 1, 2, we tend to do targeted intervention. So for example, if they take an assessment, the feedback from that will be different from other students, so that they can really hone in on the areas that they need to improve on. We've got different areas now that students can use depending on the mood or the area of study that they need to do. So we'll have the beautiful new library, which is for silent study, so they can really get into the idea of quiet essay writing, for example. The resources room, which is a suite full of up-to-date computers so that they can do their research. We've got the common room if they want to do group work. We've got the refectory if they want to have a cup of coffee or a hot chocolate on cold days whilst they are learning. So we also have academic enrichment going on through the different societies that are being run by staff and students, as well as revision sessions. As we get into term 3, we really hone in on things like exam study skills, study workshops, individual revision plans, and then exam practice, just so that they not only have the knowledge, but the skills equipped to be successful in these upcoming rigorous assessments or exams, whichever it will be, they will be prepared for. So we feel that to be successful, we need to have communication with the home, with students, and with the staff. So we're going to do that in a multiple range of areas. So newsletters that will come out weekly, parents consultation evening, which is on the 2nd of December this year, telephones, emails, social media accounts, and progress checks, so that we can keep complete transparency throughout the year. I just will point out that attendance and punctuality is still really key. We do expect all students to be in for tutor time in the morning for registration, as that's when a lot of notices get given out for the day, and just really sets them up to be successful and happy that day. If there is a legitimate reason, such as a medical appointment or a driving test, please fill in a leave of absence form so we can make sure that students are safe at all times. We know where they are, and we always have to disclose attendance when asked for it on references. So we want to make sure, again, all these marginal gains are there for our students to be successful in this competitive time. Dress code. I must say most of our sixth formers are really smart, but there are a few who are still right on the boundary of wearing skirts that might be a little too short, for example. Nothing wrong with that in a regular context, but in a school context, this is the dress code that we would like our students to keep with, and that can also be found on the website, along with our lanyards, again for safeguarding purposes and so that they can access the buildings. Our code of conduct here again has been sent to you at the beginning of the year, but just a reminder that we do expect students to maintain social distancing where possible, to keep hygiene at the foremost, to have personal responsibility, and also to keep safe travel to and from school. And I've already touched on the dress code. So the school day for sixth form usually contains a series of taught lessons. They can be lecture style, they can be very interactive, they can be practical, they can be seminar style. So it is a very diverse range that they are experiencing. As a privilege, if some year 13s like to work at home, this is possible in the afternoons only because, like I said, the morning is important to group together and to have notices shared. But they can only leave from 12:30 if they have no lessons, including study support, because work is set during that time, and if they have parental permission, which is the signed Microsoft form that was sent out a few weeks ago. There'll be study sessions, and I do recommend that these study periods are used effectively. The more work that is done in school, the less they have to squeeze in at home, especially around part-time jobs or other activities that they may have. They've got societies that they can lead at this stage as well as be part of, a range of enrichment activities, and the personal development and leadership opportunities are rife in sixth form. So I've already said about the leading the societies and the head student team, just for starters. So I have touched on work-life balance. So character beats cognition as a predictor of academic success. So effort is a habit, and that's what we want to help our students gain, is good habits so that they get good results for what their personal achievement goals are. And we believe that 30 is the magic number, so that's how many hours that they have to study on throughout the week to be successful. So that it means that they do have to utilize their study periods well, and then they will be fine. So it is just getting that balance between schoolwork, paid work, rest, and well-being is absolutely key. And if one of those is out of kilter, they should meet a member of the team that I said at the beginning, their form tutor, myself, Mrs. Terrier, to help them realign the balance so that they are happy. If they are happy, they'll be well functioning. Something to help them with their academic success and their personal success is a program that we are following through P-Sheet and through Tutor Time, and it is the Vesper model. And this is started already this term with the students having a vision. They've made a vision board for what they hope to achieve by the end of the year. This is their motivator to keep them going when some days are tough. Then we will give them the skills that they need to create that effort to keep motivated when they don't feel like it, by having certain systems in place, such as organization. They'll be fine-tuned into how to practice their skills in a smart way, and then the whole time developing this positive mental can-do attitude. So we will give them strategies to help them deal with all of these so that they leave well-rounded individuals. If the organisation, for example, was an element that they were needed to get into alignment, there are so many different ways. A lot of students are using their phones to help organise their time. Some people are still using planners, wall planners, whatever it is. Planning is the key, and we can help them do that so things don't build up and cause unnecessary stress. We don't want that to happen. I would like just to point out that they just need to keep themselves safe and kind online. So whatever they're posting, they've got to be mindful of the reaction that might have on other people, especially during this year when every day counts. but also what they're reading, making sure that they are surrounded by positivity. However, if they do come across something, whether online or in person, and they feel it isn't right, they shouldn't hesitate to report it. So the first port of call would be the form tutor or the pastoral assistant, Mrs. Tarrier, myself. But if it's on a weekend or they feel that they can't make it safe to safe or haven't had the opportunity, they can use the never acceptable email that we have. We also have a link online, which on our website, that they can make an anonymous report. And we also have members of staff at the NSPCC who are there to listen to any call at any time. And then we got the wellbeing cards for numbers as well. So how do we prepare them for post 18? So things that are happening throughout the day, some have already happened in year 12, but just as a recap, we will supply a lot of notices on our newsletter. We've got a range of online courses to support with the extracurricular and supercurricular activities. We've got higher education fairs, parents information evenings, consultation evenings, open days, mock interviews, which we've touched on, admission test support, Oxbridge group, EPQ support, support for writing personal statements, as well as UCAS careers and apprenticeship support. We have admission tutors and outreach advisors speaking with our students, as well as having independent careers advisor on hand once a week, as well as financial advice for the future. So we also talk about the degree apprenticeship option, which is becoming very popular at the moment. So you are paid alongside gaining your degree, which some students find very appealing. If students want to go straight into employment, of course we will support with mock interviews again. We'll advertise careers conventions that they can attend. Again, newsletters, links, webinars, guest speakers, careers advice on a one-to-one, P-sheet, and again, financial and budgeting advice if they're going straight into the place of work. We are in the UCAS season now, which many of our students are taking advantage of. So predicted grades are a culmination of things that have happened throughout the year. So work from year 12, classwork and work ethic. There will also be the opportunity, if a student wants to make improvement, to demonstrate what they are capable of in order to achieve a grade. But be careful that students aren't stretching themselves, because the competition this year is so tight that we want to make sure it's aspirational yet realistic, so that students are disappointed. So we would always say, make sure you've got a range of options in there so that you can go study the course of your dreams. So just a little reminder then, always pick an aspirational option that you want to work towards, 2 or 3 realistic options, and then a contingency option. But make sure that it is still a place that you want to go to and not just a gap filler on the form. And then the internal deadline for non-early entrants is the 18th of October. The national deadline is later, but we want to make sure that we can support the students by going through their applications with them, making sure that they've got an excellent teacher reference, have the right predicted grades linked to the course. So, and then the earlier that we can get them in, the better chances of the offers coming in, because it is not all waiting until the 15th of January. Universities give out offers on a first come, first served basis. Unconditional offers can be a double-edged sword. The intention was to take the pressure off students so that they can focus on their work and not worrying about the grades that are needed that could cause a little bit of stress. And for many students that works. However, there has been a national trend of complacency where some people do take their foot off the gas. So just be mindful, if you do get that great unconditional offer, make sure you utilize it in the right way, and you never know, you might overachieve. For some people in our sixth form, the bursary scheme is available, and if you are available or more you can have to apply again this year, even if you applied last year. So just make sure that you find out all the information on our website, or you can go to the www.gov.uk website and they will explain who's eligible for the bursary fund. Our code of conduct, just simplified, just again within year 13, we want to make sure that our students are self-disciplined because of those extra study periods, just to make sure that they are getting that balance, that they're respectful to one another and the environment, that they attend registration with the tutors, that they are signing in and out. Obviously they can email us at any time if they need an appointment, such as hospital appointment, medical appointment, dentist, etc. Study periods, no smoking or consumption of alcohol on site. They're always presentable and a helpful member of the school community. Devices, we don't have a problem with them using them as long as that they are used appropriately. So thank you very much for all your continued support. We hope that that has answered any questions you may have had, but if you do have any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Have a lovely rest of your day.